You've tuned into our channel for the unfiltered reality of sports. Let's dive straight into the main topic. Listen up, everyone. We need to discuss Adam Silver and the growing number of dedicated fans who have reached their breaking point.
That watching Caitlin Clark crash out on such an epic level the other night was their final straw. And I'm talking about, I saw some fans yesterday that were like, I watched her play in high school.
They find her behavior inexcusable. While they might grasp the reasons for her breakdown, they refuse to watch her self-destruct. Frankly, their reaction is valid. I understand their perspective. Yet, other fans are now retaliating against them. What is even happening here?
What are you doing? What are you doing? People don't want to see athletes crash out. Like, they don't. I understand why she did it, but a lot of people will not watch that. They won't. My father would never, he would turn the TV off and walk off. I'm not watching that shit. I'm not doing it.
It's reached a point where someone as professional and composed as Caitlin Clark has seemingly lost all restraint on the court. Who exactly is to blame for this chaotic environment?
The WNBA is responsible for that. These hateful-ass players is responsible for that. I don't care what anybody says. You will never convince me her and Stephanie White actually get along. You cannot convince me of that. This is all about dropping the ball from the WNBA, dropping the ball from the...
Honestly, their social media engagement has plummeted. I'd argue it's only a fraction of what it was back in 2024. Think about the perspective of Caitlin Clark, realizing that the league commissioner wouldn't even step in to suspend Alyssa Thomas. My own commissioner, whom I haven't even had the chance to meet, hasn't bothered to attend a single game. It's a fact that Kathy Engelbert has never set foot in an arena to watch the Indiana Fever play.
This league, the people that run it, do not have my back, even though they are making money hand over fist, over foot, off of my back. Adam Silver has made a statement about Caitlin Clark.
It's obvious he's a supporter, but I'm not convinced he truly grasps the gravity of the issues unfolding on the court. Much of this tension stems from poor officiating. If the league would actually intervene and hand out meaningful suspensions for reckless behavior, this misconduct would drop significantly because players would fear the consequences.
And truly suspend these players when they get out of pocket, a lot of this would go away because players would be like, shit, I can't lose 10 games. Especially now that they're actually making a little scratch. Or, oh shit, I'm going to lose 10 games and get a $100,000 fine if I act like an idiot.
They wouldn't behave so erratically if there were genuine, severe repercussions for their actions. The intense discourse surrounding WNBA refereeing and Caitlin Clark has now reached the desk of NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. On Thursday, Silver remarked that Clark has transformed into a contentious cultural symbol amid
debates about officiating and physical play in the WNBA, spurred by a recent play involving Indiana Fever star guard and Alyssa Thomas. Quote, ultimately, the issues around Caitlin Clark are largely about not largely about officiating.
Blown at that exact moment, or if it deserved a flagrant label upon review. The reality remains that failing to identify and address that kind of conduct while the game is in progress,
that's a failure. That is a failure. Let's not get confused. Silver made the remarks during an on-stage conversation with Andrew Ross Sorkin at the Game Plan Summit by CNBC in the boardroom.
Silver noted that he has grown to know Caitlin quite well, describing her as a remarkable athlete and an impressive individual. I'll give him credit for that much. At least he acknowledges her, unlike Kathy Engelbert, who rarely says a thing.
And she wants to focus on being the best player she can. She's become a bit of a political football in this country, and I think it's incredibly unfair to her. I don't think the issue is ultimately about officiating. She's become political ping pong with her. She's a young woman who is trying to improve her game.
Ever since her debut, Clark has served as a catalyst for a massive surge in league attendance and broadcast viewership. Yet, the conversation surrounding her is frequently dominated by polarizing debates regarding demographics and authority.
Quote, I don't think it's even fair to her that this has become a separate storyline about one foul, Silver said. Do we need to improve WNBA officiating? No doubt about it.
Well, it is good he recognizes the room for growth. However, he must also acknowledge that other athletes are targeting Caitlin for reasons that extend far beyond her on-court performance. It comes down to resentment regarding her fame and influence. It's pure envy.
Why didn't fans show up for me? Well, people are going to want to consume whoever they want to consume. That's just a fact. All right? That's just a fact. Something about Caitlin Clark resonated.
Her peers lack. Her evolution into a colossal phenomenon during her college years is a major factor, and that massive following transitioned seamlessly into her pro career. If they aren't careful, that base will just as easily vanish. Evelyn Dior, who is likely
The most passionate fan. I've talked to Evelyn quite a few times on social media. She is a passionate fan. And she's the one that created a lot of this Fire Stephanie White, these logos and posters and all that.
Evelyn designed those graphics for the Fever pages because she's reached her limit with the current output, specifically regarding how Caitlin Clark is being treated. She posted this message today. I'm a dedicated supporter who traveled to Indiana. With my family to catch the All-Star game, I've bought multiple jerseys and hit the road.
Watched the Fever on the road. I spent thousands supporting this team because I genuinely believed in what they were building. Never in a million years did I think I'd go from being one of the organization's biggest supporters to being this deeply disappointed in the way it's being run. From my perspective, the coaching staff and front office have stripped away everything
that made Caitlin Clark and this Fever roster appointment viewing. They've managed to turn what should have been the most electrifying chapter in team history into an incredibly draining one. Honestly, watching them is joyless. When Caitlin Clark is on the floor, I tune in because reporting on her and the Indiana Fever is my beat. Covering the WNBA is my job, but specifically, she and that squad
is a major focus. The games, even when they win, unless Caitlin Clark does one of these, I'm taking over, and she goes out and drops a 28, 12, and 6, these games are largely slogfest. They're brutal. And then you watch everything else that has happened on top of it.
Disastrous product. Back in 2024, even when the Fever dropped a game, they were still entertaining because you could witness the synergy, pace, and court awareness. It was thrilling. 2024 Indiana Fever basketball provided some of the most compelling professional sports I've ever experienced. I can't even count how often I jumped off my couch cheering in total disbelief.
It's been a while since I've covered. When you start covering sports for a living, a lot of things become numbing. I was caught up. Even at times at the beginning of last year, there were a couple of games where I was like, oh, this is still fun.
Turned this team into a sluggish, uninspired, and completely broken disaster of a setup. And I use broken to imply it's been corrupted from within. It's simply not fun. And that is a massive issue, because we have all witnessed a vibrant Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever squad. Unfortunately for White and the front office, we've already seen a version of this team that was incredibly fun to watch. Currently, as a fan, they are painful to view on screen. That's a significant problem.
As much as I love and support the players, especially Caitlin, I'm honestly not sure how much longer I can keep watching. Thousands of loyal fans have been voicing these same concerns, yet it oftentimes feels like this organization simply doesn't care.
The tragic reality is that it didn't have to end this way, and she tagged everyone involved, including the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark. She gave a shout-out to Sophie, Amber Cox, Stephanie White, and Lynn Dunn. Brilliant take. You've completely voiced my own sentiments here.
IDX Texas, the same, Evelyn. 15 total home games on 2024 and 2025. I haven't spent a dime in 2026. Wow. I canceled the apps, except Prime and YouTube TV. I'm so done with these people. And he probably kept those because he was like me and had them anyway. CDS Sports, amen. Exactly true.
He mentioned he was heading over to see Steve Painter and planning a 4.5-hour drive to catch the fever face the dream. I ended up deciding against it because of how Matheny White runs things. Carnivore, Evelyn, that was a fantastic analysis. You hit the nail right on the head. Well put.
It's a no-brainer. They're liars and they're stealing your hard-earned money. You're 100% correct, Evelyn. We canceled our 2-day trip in July. I've been out on this coaching staff and the front office for a while.
Someone mentioned they jumped ship to the Fire. Incidentally, about that Portland Fire squad, I think Swatch Debigina. Doubt anyone recalls that specific match, but they absolutely dismantled the Fever. However, while watching Ben Daniels stream, I commented in the chat saying something like, "My goodness, this Portland Fire team is so incredibly entertaining."
I was like, wow, this seems fun to watch. They were playing hard and they were playing fast, and the Fever couldn't keep up with them. They got run out of the building. It's disastrous. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters.
We suspect Caitlin Clark takes the court tonight, only to sit out tomorrow. If you're running CBS Sports, CBS, you've sunk a massive amount of cash into these media rights. I'd be thinking about that.
You better set Caitlin Clark tonight and play her tomorrow during our nationally televised game that we paid for. Instead, you're going to set Aaliyah Boston tonight and give us Aaliyah Boston tomorrow. Nobody's what. That's going to automatically. We've already seen it twice on nationally televised games.
If Caitlin Clark isn't on the floor, 1 million viewers just switch off the channel. 1 million people walk away from a national game if Caitlin isn't playing. Anyway, I'm out. See you next time. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share your thoughts, and subscribe. Catch us on the next episode.